Welcome into the Beat Sessions, the place for all things music. I'm your host, Mitchell Weary. It's Friday, September 15th. Hope you've all had an outstanding week and that you got some fun stuff lined up for the weekend. I'm really excited to lead things off this week with a brand new record from The Pretenders entitled Relentless. This is the 12th studio album for the band and their follow-up to 2020's Hate for Sale. And of all of the flattering adjectives that I could think of to describe Chrissie Hynde, Relentless is definitely one of the words on that list. She is not just a rock star, but a legend. And not just a trailblazer for women in music, but a trailblazer for women from all walks of life. She is the type of individual that has always done things on her own terms, for better or worse, and just so much to admire about, her creativity, but who she is as an individual, what she stands for, and how she operates. I love her. I'm so stoked that she's still around. I'm so stoked that she's still making music for a younger generation, especially for a younger generation of women. I think that, as stated before, she is the type of role model that every woman deserves to have and needs. And, if you're not familiar with her, you definitely need to check out Chrissie Hynde and the Pretenders. This is a band that, early on, a lot of tragedy and the passings of James Honeyman Scott and Pete Farnan. This is a band that could have easily dissolved. I'd argue that even in the early stages, this is a band that was always Chrissy's to front and to lead. And so even with that tragedy, coming back with Learning to Crawl, it's a brilliant album title. It's a brilliant album. Contains some of the band's best work, some of her best work, I should argue there. But it's this album is, she's still just got such talent and such abilities as a songwriter. The one criticism I've heard, it's an interesting record. It's a little on the mellow side, kind of a slow burn. And there's some people that, after listening to the thing, getting into reviews, weren't that pumped about that. They wanted more of this energetic, fast-paced, kind of hard rock coming at you. And to a certain degree, I can understand where they're coming from and why they'd want that. But this record, in my opinion, is solid. I would say that the criticism that we just discussed, it does drag maybe a tiny bit towards the back end, but overall, I love the slow burn. I love the focus on Chrissy's voice, because that contralto voice, she's still got it. It's still amazing to listen to. I love her voice. I'd argue that she has one of the best voices ever in popular music. So it's great to listen to some of these compositions, exploring some minimalism and allowing her voice to really be the focal point. James Walborn, new guitar player, current guitar player, I should say. It's the person that she worked with to put together these songs. So it's I think that this record is, I don't know how everybody's going to feel about it, honestly. It's one that, as I said, it's got a bit of a slower pace. I'd say you might need to find yourself in a mood to enjoy this, but again, the way that these compositions highlight Chrissy's talent as a vocalist, the melodies and the hooks that are coming together on this thing really are quite exceptional. And there's some great moments where they're rocking out still too. It's like I love that some of these compositions, they might start off a little more on the mellow side, but then there's a turn. There's something that happens that catches you, the energy rises, and it's really cool. It makes these songs very engaging to listen to. Your album opener, Losing My Sense of Taste, is got big heavy guitars, this ominous feeling as well. You can tell by the title maybe when this song was written and what it's referring to a little bit, but I definitely think talking more about the current state of the world, all the nonsense and the garbage that we all have to bear witness to and tolerate on a daily basis. And yeah, bad taste in your mouth sometimes. Sometimes I feel like, just losing that. So that's one of my favorite things about Chrissy, talking about how always done things her own way. She's not afraid to speak her mind and lay down how she feels about the state of the world. And she does it in a way that, she's not sitting there trying to like encourage you to go to the left or go to the right. She just says what she wants to say. And it's one of my favorite things about her. Wall of guitars in this song, though. I really like the way the chorus takes on a lighter melody. Great way to open up this record. A Love is your second song. Light guitars usher in a track with softer melodies. You get this desert rock feel. I really like the ambience of the guitars, that reverb that's there. Just great tone on those instruments. It's going to lead into your third song, Domestic Silence. You can tell by that song title where we're going with this. Love the statement. Simple drums followed by guitar, minimal arrangement. And I love that, especially given the lyrical content of this song. You're allowed to just really focus on her voice, what she's saying, how she's singing it. It's really quite exceptional. And I really, like the guitars, this song, it feels like early Neil Young is what it reminded me of. Just a solid jam. Really dug that track. The Copa, your fourth song, light arpeggiated riff and got this soft rhythm. This is where this album starts to mellow out a little bit and kind of take on that slow burn feel. And I love it. This track gently builds and just drifts along perfectly. Feels like paradise. It really is a great song with contrasting lyrical content. It's a good dynamic there. The Promise of Love is your fifth song. Soulful piano. I love the piano in the song. Get these finger snaps that just create this great vibe. Her voice sounds stellar on this song. The textures that fill in are really nice. The hook hits on this thing, and then really like the way that the harmonies come in with that. And then drums and bass hit after that first turn. Song goes to work. It's a good number. Merry Widow is your sixth track. This is my favorite song. This song is so good. Back to the guitars. That's what I really love about this thing. It's got that great rock and roll feel. I dig the riff to open. The verse finds a very mellow pace on this thing. Kind of lingers a little bit with the drums. The guitar tone is spooky on this thing. That's what I love. I love the feel of this. And talk about Chrissy and just who she is as a person. There's a feel of this record. A couple of things that, like, I definitely am feeling Eastern influences. She's very much into Eastern culture. I believe she is. I believe she studies the Hindu religion. But this is a track that, or the whole album, but this track in particular, you can feel those Eastern elements balanced with, at this point, with the mellowness of the music. It kind of feels like a combination of that with that kind of like 60s kind of classic chamber pop sound or 60s pop sound. It's a really interesting dynamic that's at work on this record. But that song, it's like, I love the way that it fills out and the drums go to work about halfway through the song. And then with 90 seconds left, what a jam. This thing just blows up and turns into a hell of a song. But I really love the way that it starts off with just that slow pace and it builds brilliantly. Definitely my favorite. Let the Sun Come In is your seventh track, picks up the tempo. All the elements drive behind a cool little riff. It's got this subtle psychedelic garage rock feel that I really enjoyed. Look Away, your eighth song, arpeggiated acoustic riff, simple percussion too. It's got this second guitar that kind of riffs along as the song progresses. And I really enjoy the way that the energy builds in this song and the way the instrumentation fills out. Your ninth track, Your House Is on Fire, acoustic guitar on this track to open, simple stomping drums. There's like this call and response harmony in the chorus that I really enjoyed. Psychedelic Eastern influence there again at work. It's a cool element to this record. Just Let It Go is your 10th song, acoustic guitar behind an electric guitar. Like the instrumentation there. It ushers in this mid-tempo country rocker. It's this song kind of has its own feel in this lineup of tracks. It's pretty cool. I like the way that the solo takes on a grungier feel. The song takes a bit of a turn when that happens, more into that rock and roll territory. It's got a great coda. Love the way this thing finishes. Vainglorious, your 11th track, is bringing that kind of almost early punkish, fast-paced Pretender style, simple arrangement. It really kind of reminded me of like a classic metal feel meets 60s pop. It's a great dynamic that's at work there, fast paced. It's probably the people that you're gonna read or hear being critical of this record, it's probably a little more of what they're looking for. But I like the placement of the song as the penultimate track. Leading into your final track, I Think About You Daily. This is a really interesting track. The criticism, a lot of people say that it doesn't really belong in the track list. It definitely stands out and it's unique and different. I like it as a closer. Got Johnny Greenwood providing orchestration there from Radiohead, so that's a pretty cool little cameo there. Gentle piano, soft drums that work through this thing. It's the longest track on the album, 6 minutes. I think it's really pretty. I love the feel of it, and it just closing off a record that is proof that Chrissy is just still rock and roll royalty. That she is, as long as there's lungs in her breath, that voice and that talent, it's going to be out there. And shit, I don't even know if we're deserving of it in this world, but thankful to have her still making music at this level. Big Time Vinyl, please check out this record. Check out the Pretenders if you're not familiar with this outfit. You got a fun catalog of music and a lot of songs, honestly, that you probably have heard before. You'll have one of those aha moments, or maybe a lot of them. Who knows? But have fun with the Pretenders this weekend, and I hope you find this review helpful. Please like it, share it, subscribe to the channel, do all the things to help us blow this project up in 2023, and stay tuned throughout the week for more album reviews. And if you're in Tucson, I'll be DJing at Corbett's tomorrow, Saturday night, September 16th. I'll be there from 10 p.m. until 2 a.m. Kind of late, but it's a cool little beer garden. They got pickleball courts. You can rent one, hang out with your friends, and have a good time. Come by, say what's up. We'll see you next time.